Hey everyone, and welcome back to Fine Print. Today, we are continuing the Insider Files, where we explore the journeys of those individuals in history whose identities are often unknown. Each episode, we'll cover the life and missions of a spy who transformed the geopolitical landscapes of the regions in which they operated, and how their contributions altered global power dynamics in the years after their operations. On today's episode, we will be covering the life, journey, and legacy of R.N. Kao, an Indian intelligence officer who founded India's main intelligence agency, the Research and Analysis Wing, contributed to India's victory in the 1971 war against Pakistan, and helped add Sikkim as the 22nd state to India. Rameshwar Nath Kao was born on May 10, 1918, in Banaras to a Kashmiri Pandit family. Although his father passed away when he was quite young, Kao was raised largely under the guidance of his uncle, Pandit Triloki Nath Kao, who ensured his focus on education and discipline. As a child, Kao was extremely disciplined, who was known to be quiet and observant. He showed a passion for languages, global affairs, and his friends often described him as being reserved. Little did they know that same quiet nature would be what would aid him in his future job in espionage. Kao completed his Bachelor of Arts degree from Lucknow University in 1936 and his Master's in English Literature from Allahabad University. In 1940, Kao joined the Indian Imperial Police, one of the most prestigious civil service sectors in British India at the time. Earning this job through rigorous discipline and academic performance, he was posted to the United Provinces, where he worked in law enforcement during a time in British India when revolts were flaring high against the British Raj. For Kao, the conflict between the British government and Indian independence fighters was the perfect breeding ground to be his natural training ground. In this intense atmosphere, he learned how to gather intelligence, assimilate with crowds, make minute observations, analyze patterns, and handle sensitive information. Although he wasn't yet involved in the world of espionage, these were all skills that directly paralleled his future job. Then, in 1947, India gained its independence from Great Britain and was partitioned into India and Pakistan. This newly independent Indian government now had another challenge at its doorstep: establishing a stable, secure government with a fully functioning and secure intelligence network. Thus, R.N. Kao was selected to join the Intelligence Bureau, which marked the beginning of his journey in Indian espionage. In the IB, he earned a reputation of being calm under pressure and discreet in information handling, and his specialization was in VIP security and counterintelligence. Kao relied on his basics, the five senses, and used psychology, observations, and patience to excel in his work. In this position, Kao was designed to handle an extremely high-profile case in 1955. India's Prime Minister at the time, Jawaharlal Nehru, was to attend the Bandung Conference in Bandung, Indonesia, where delegates from other Asian and African countries would also be present. Intel was received that threats were likely at the event, and thus, Kao was assigned to oversee Nehru's security during the event. At the conference, Kao's job was to coordinate security with foreign nations, ensure that the Indian Prime Minister was secure at all times by predetermining threats, and handling sensitive intel. For his ultimate success at the conference, Kao earned significant recognition back home, and earned respect in the Indian intelligence circle. After the conference, Kao faced the investigation of the Kashmir Princess bombing. In 1955, an aircraft named the Lockheed L-749 Constellation Kashmir Princess exploded mid-air due to a bomb that was planted inside. To investigate the bombing, Kao traveled across the world, conducting interviews, gathering intelligence, and partnering with foreign intelligence agencies. In the end, the investigation was able to trace the attack to anti-communist groups in Taiwan. But more impactfully, Kao gained popularity at the international level and demonstrated his diplomatic skills, ability to operate across borders, and mastery in covert intelligence techniques. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, Kao continued his rise in the Indian Intelligence Bureau's ranks, becoming one of the most trusted officers for his strong relationships, diplomacy, and secrecy. During this time, India, on an international level, was also facing foreign security threats, particularly from China, as a result of the Sino-Indian War, which exposed major intelligence gaps within India. This forced the Indian government to restructure intelligence operations and security protocol. In 1968, under Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, India made a monumental decision. Following the failures in the Sino-Indian War, the Indian government decided that it was time to create a dedicated foreign intelligence agency that would be separate from the IB, which was India's domestic intelligence agency. Under the guidance of R.N. Kao, the Research and Analysis Wing, or RAW, was created. Kao recruited officers initially from the IB who were known for their loyalty and discretion, and focused on psychological attacks over militarism. Kao further insisted on absolute secrecy, so limited people, even within India, knew about the intricacies of RAW. One of RAW's earliest operations came during the Bangladesh Liberation War, also known as the Indo-Pak War of 1971. Political tensions had escalated in Pakistan as the government refused to recognize the election victory of East Pakistani leaders. Over the years, the geographical and cultural distance between East and West Pakistan also contributed to tensions. Ultimately, many refugees came into India, which led to the fear of threats for India. RAW, under Kao, was tasked to keep control behind the scenes. RAW secretly supported resistance groups fighting against Pakistani rule, and under Kao, thousands of guerrilla fighters were trained, sabotage operations were coordinated, and intelligence was gathered on Pakistani troop movements, military supply movements, and communication lines, which helped India when war was formally declared in December of 1971. Lasting just 13 days, the war was a decisive victory for India, who helped Bangladesh, which was initially East Pakistan, become a sovereign nation. Under the leadership of Kao, RAW not only grew, but established overseas stations, built partnerships with foreign intelligence agencies, like the KGB of the Soviet Union, M16 of the UK, Mossad of Israel, and many other smaller agencies. A smaller yet influential movement, though, was still waiting for RAW. At the time, the region of Sikkim was a monarchy, but political instability was growing. The Indian government and RAW began monitoring developments in the region as concerns about foreign influence in the region grew. By 1975, after public referendums, Sikkim formally became India's 22nd state. When it comes to Kao's political relations, he developed a strong relationship with the Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, in the 1970s. Over time, Kao became her chief intelligence advisor and a trusted voice in national security. In 1977, though, Indira Gandhi lost power after her declaration of a state of emergency in India, which stripped many of their basic rights, and lost her popularity. Furthermore, Kao retired from Raw at the time, but in 1980, Indira Gandhi returned to power, and this time requested R.N. Kao to return as a senior advisor on security and intelligence. Once again, though, in 1984, Indian politics entered a period of instability, this time due to militant escalations in Punjab over the rise of the Khalistani movement, a movement that was led in efforts to create Punjab as an independent nation out of India. Prime Minister Gandhi launched Operation Blue Star, which was conducted to remove the leaders of the separatist movement from the Golden Temple in Amritsar. By creating an environment of military escalation within the Golden Temple, which was a holy site for Sikhs, thousands of riots broke out across India in the months following the operation. In October of the same year, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was shot at point-blank range by her 2 Sikh bodyguards, shocking the nation. After Gandhi's death, Kao also silently removed himself from Indian intelligence, but never fully left the field. Although he avoided public speeches or media appearances, he focused on advising the government from behind the scenes. Over the years, Kao's physical health retreated, and on January 20th, 2002, R.N. Kao passed away at the age of 83 in New Delhi, leaving behind an influential tale that would be told by generations to come. Despite his massive contributions to Indian security, he remained a private, reserved individual who continued to work behind the scenes. Rameshwar Nath Kao's story serves not to glorify secrecy, but to honor the silent guardians who stand between chaos and stability. It shows how patience, foresight, and discipline, often exercised far from public view, can alter the course of history just as powerfully as armies you see on the battlefield. R.N. Kao's legacy lives on in the institutions he built and the security he helped preserve for generations to come.